On day 7 as normal, Deborah the Explorer will be up at the crack of noon. But we're traveling through the inside passage as the sun starts to peek over the horizon. Let's watch for a little bit. Ketchikan has 2 claims to fame. Number 1, the wettest place in Alaska with 13 feet average rainfall each year, and the salmon capital of the world. It's in the heart of the Tongass National Forest, and forestry is a big industry here. Also tourism, with 4 to 5 cruise boats landing every single day. You can see the salmon boats going out to fish now. This seaplane docked on the shore reminds us that the main way of getting around up here is seaplanes. Let's watch a few of them.
So come on up. She's going to tell you a little bit about herself, show you some of her new gear that she's wearing, and introduce herself. Here, $60, it's an hour and a half. You can also, I just found this out, obviously buy fireworks there too. So.
While in Ketchikan, we'll do several different things. We'll look around the city, and we'll also take a boat to Misty Fjord. When we get off, I'll look at the Eagle Totem, then we'll leave from the harbor, see Creek Street, and go downtown to do a little shopping. These are some old pictures from Ketchikan, from some postcards. You can see it's a small town located right along the water, with the mountains closing it in on all sides. Creek Street consists of buildings built on pilings along the creek. We'll look at it in a little more detail later. And we'll go shopping in the downtown area at several different stores. Now it's time to get off the boat for the first time and go ashore. The Celebrity Infinity, as most cruise ships do, tower over the city. The Eagle Totem is one of the symbols of this city. And the rock is another. Each person standing here symbolizing something that has helped build this city. Let's look a little bit around the city before our excursion to Misty Fjord starts. In the harbor, the fishermen are getting ready to go on their salmon fishing excursions. And the commercial fleet is also heading out to see how many fish they can catch and bring back to the canneries. We'll be following this route as we go to Misty Fjord National Monument and see all the sights there. Now it's time to get on our boat and to head out. We can stand on the back or inside, and this will be our captain for the day, and we'll have a naturalist with us to talk about what's going on. Well, let's head out. First stop is a bald eagle and an active bald eagle's nest. We'll see many bald eagles today and for the rest of our trip. We saw eagles on the river at Skagway, on the ice in Tracy Arm Fjord, and in the trees in Seattle.
The Cape Fox tribe, the Sanya Kwan, and a lot of dancing, a lot of food. Everybody brought food there, and they had world-renowned carver Nathan Jackson.
On our way out, we see Saxman's Native Village, a place where you can learn about the culture of this area, the Tlingit Indians.
Of what? Now, some of the original.
Along the way, we pass an Alaskan State Ferry, the Blue Highway. As we get ready to enter Misty Fjord, we see the salmon fishermen, both sports and commercial. And you keep a good lookout, you never know what you'll see. Along the shore, we catch a glimpse of a humpback whale before it disappears. Next, our boat is surrounded by a pod of orca. Let's let Brent Nixon tell us about these fascinating animals as we watch them.
It was Linnaeus, 1700s, one of the greatest categorization scientists on the planet, and Linnaeus was scared out of his pants by this thing. He was positive that this thing would take your soul and take it to the devil. And so he gave it a name. He gave it a name, or Science Orca, which basically translates out to God from the realm of the underworld. Linnaeus was positive that if you encountered this creature out there, you'd never come back. So here's this animal that can dive to 1,000 feet. They can stay down there 15, 20 minutes if they want to, but they don't do that. You know, they have a tendency to be back to the surface on very regular breathing intervals. And if you, in the world of the females, she has a lifespan of 70, 80, 90 years in the wild. In captivity, if she makes it to 35, she's doing really well. He's got a lifespan of 40, 50, 60 years if everything goes well. In captivity, he'll be lucky to live to be 25, but out in the wild, 40, 50, 60 years, oh yeah. He's in his reproductive prime during his teens, going into his 20s. He's an amazing creature. But ladies, ladies. Some of you are aware that the males will have a beautiful 6-foot dorsal fin, but he doesn't get this until he's 13, 14, 15 years of age. It's an adolescent growth spurt. Prior to that, he has a nice little curled dorsal fin. We refer to him as a sprouter during that time frame. But at 14, 15, bam, 6-foot dorsal fin. Ladies, this is the whale you want to date, because he will listen to every word you say. He functions in a matrilineal society. He functions in a matriarch. He functions in a society. If the female says jump, he doesn't say how high. He says, would you like a twist in there?
One swam up right next to the boat. You could almost touch it. He's behind the boat. There's one. Look quick to the left and see the baby jump.
Effort, boom, up and out of the water. You know, open expenditure calories.
And here comes another one.
Who can make the biggest jump? Non-directed. It's an incredible thing, and they don't like to play this game all by themselves. You know, they'll launch up and out of the water, and then another animal will launch up and out of the water to see how big the splash is.
Yeah, he's just playing. Not too hard to understand how this came to be known as Misty Fjord.
Natural thing to happen here. And
All
that,
the trees you
as I
see
mentioned
along
earlier,
were blown
part of the
down
reason
by
why those-
windstorms and float around and finally land up on the shoreline. Also, you'll notice on the shoreline there's a lot of rocks before you get to the trees. That's because trees can't live in salt water, so that's the high tide line. And now we come to New Eddystone Rock. Actually, it's about 800 feet high. There was a volcanic vent here in the middle of the fjord, and this is all that's left of the lava that flowed from it. You can see here the tide line we mentioned before. At the end of one of the arms, we find harbor seals that are laying out on shore, 6 feet long and 120 to 370 pounds, depending upon how much fat they put on. Sounds like me. The main draw here is the beautiful vistas and so many waterfalls. You'll see a total of 4 bald eagles on these islands. Can you count them all? The boat we're on is a jet-powered catamaran, and it is very fast. This is not speeded up. Next we go to look at some faded Indian pictographs. They're kind of hard to see, but there's a couple of people and also the sun right in front of you. They were put here in paint. You can see the sun marked here. And seaweed and barnacles on the rocks.
Anything around you in case you need to steady yourself.
On the way back, mountains are just peeking above the middle of a mist. And we see some more doll porpoise feeding. And now it's time to say goodbye to Misty Fjord and all the logs along the coast. You see this bald eagle? And here's one flying. As we head back to Ketchikan, more boats are going out to go fishing. It's now time for us to look around the city more. We'll do a little shopping. I'll walk along Creek Street, pick up Deborah again, and we'll go back through town shopping some more before going back to the boat. There are several totem poles in the downtown area, and also many beautiful flowers. This is an ivory carving, and I just love these acrylics with the bears and whales. And there are high-end jewelry shops everywhere. Many of them only have other stores in the Caribbean. On the way to Creek Street, we see Dolly's house. We don't have time to go in and sample her wares, but we need to go look at the houses along the creek. This used to be the red light district, but now has become upscale shops of various kinds. Ketchikan Creek is full of large salmon, but it's hard to photograph because of the moving water, and there was a seal there trying to catch some, also in the creek itself. There's even an immature bald eagle sitting like a pigeon on a roof. Then it's time to get back on the boat, or we'll be leaving soon.
Salmon on this table, and the bears lick the varnish off the table. It rivaled the cave bear for its physical size, its capabilities, and by 1926 it was extinct. The only place you can find it is on the California state flag. Because we were afraid. Knowledge changes that. It totally changes it. And maybe March. 5 months without going to the bathroom. 5 months. And they come out of the den and they're moving real slow and they're just like, oh man, I have not gone to the bathroom in a long time. Ooh. There's some people walking around the ship like this. No. The crew stays well clear of them, that's for sure. And Bear's looking for this flower. Well, he's not really looking for it, he's smelling for it. You know, this space beta extemporaneous generates this skunky smell that, of course, attracts insect for pollination. But Bear smells it and goes, I smell relief. We're talking one of the most violent laxatives in the backcountry. Bear comes over, starts eating on these flowers within steps. He's going, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. And then it happens. And Bear says, I'm feeling much better now. Got rid of that problem. Where they're going so they don't trip, get small, become vulnerable. Right now, you've got to talk to this bear. And the very best way to talk to this bear is with your jacket. Ladies that are in the room, if you've got a sweater around your waist, perfect. Just get it up over your head. Boom! You just gained 150 pounds. Most American bears have an average body weight of about 150 to 250 pounds. You get your jacket up over top and Bear looks over and goes, that's a much bigger bear than I thought. It sends out its warning signals. It's telling you, warning, warning, warning. I have my head down right now. I'm telling you that I'm ready to fight. I'm communicating with you the way the bears communicate with you. I'm staring at you, with my head down. I have my ears folded back and the hair on my neck is standing up. I'm ready for battle, but I don't want this fight. And you can talk your way out of this. We've done it hundreds of times. Look close. Look at it. It's magnificent. Some of you know it as a coastal brown. Some of you might know it by a grizzly bear. Some of you might know it as a Kodiak. It's all the same genus and species.
After Brent's lecture, we go up on deck and there's a bald eagle flying. But we're here because we're passing through Snow Pass, the home to about 80 humpback whales. On the way, we'll see some stellar sea lions on a buoy. These large sea lions are 7 to 8 feet long and 580 to 2,000 pounds, with the males being larger. And then there she blows, humpback whales. They seem awful tiny, but then we are 13 stories in the air. And the blow is over 18 feet high. So think of it being 3 times the human height. Humpback whales are very unusual whale with long pectoral fins, and this is a school bus in comparison. Let's watch them a while. As As you can see from this drawing, a humpback whale is not the largest whale. In fact, it's medium-sized at best. As Brent Nixon said earlier, the blowholes are about the size of your hand, and these were some of the ones that were hunted almost to extinction. But now they've come back. Each individual animal can be identified by the pattern on the bottom of its tail fluke. You can tell where it's been as it's been sighted. They stick the tail in the air when they're ready to dive deep. This is what humpback whales sound like when they talk to each other. Let's listen to this recording as we watch the whales. And then there he says, "Good night," as he sticks his tail in the air and slips below the water.